Down at our level of football, it's very rare that you see a finish of that level of quality, finished starting the trajectory of the ball outside of the post and curling it in past an outstretched keeper. And I went home thinking, should we be playing him up front? Could he be the answer? Is he the one that we want to just put through the middle? Because if you actually look at his skill set, he hasn't got electric pace, but he's good turn of pace. He controls the ball well. He works well on that last line of defence, albeit from a wide position. But the other players that have played in that position will just seem to have nosebleeds as soon as the ball lands at their feet and they need to get a shot at goal. And I was very impressed with that finish. I was impressed with his performance. Doubtlessly, he'll need a few more minutes. But is he the best finisher at the club? Yeah, I think he probably is. And in the situation we're in at the moment, I think we could probably do a lot worse and trying him through the middle.
See, I like Dennis. I've said this on the podcast the last week or so. When you play him in the right position, I think he's not going to score every time he gets the ball at his feet, as evidenced by the game against Swindon, where he missed a sitter, but then scored one as well. But he will at least get in the positions in the 18-yard box that if you put the ball in the right place, he's going to score. Now, Hawkes isn't that kind of centre forward. Well, he's not that kind of player. He's not a centre forward, but he's not that kind of player because he's someone who is going to want to run in between the lines. He is going to want to cut in off that left flank, and he's going to want to shoot with his right foot, which is why I'm not entirely sure he's suited to a centre forward role. However, if you're going to play a 4-4-2 and you want to have him sitting in what I would call the Connor Jennings position behind the striker, like Jennings did so successfully with Norwood in 2018-19, I think Hawkes could be a success there. Or if you're going to persist with a 4-3-3, which I think with the midfield options Tranmere have got coming available to them now is probably the way to go, then I absolutely want to see Hawkes playing on the left side of that front three. But him being available, it opens up so many more options because I've said this before this season, Jennings and Morris are far too similar. I don't want to see a front three with those two out wide. But if you can give me a Hawkes and one of those two, or a Hawkes and a Patrick, or a Hawkes and a Solomon, or a Hawkes and a Taylor, there's a common denominator here, then you've got something I think can be much better in front of goal.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, particularly on the not wanting to see Morris and Jennings up there wading through treacle as part of the front three for Tranmere. Yeah, I think it's not such a problem. Strikers not scoring if you've got players elsewhere around the pitch chipping in with goals, which is what we've really lacked, isn't it, this season? And Hawkes, will add some goals, whatever position you play him in. I think the really pertinent one to mention out of those names you mentioned was Sam Taylor, who we saw a little glimpse of when he came off the bench against Swindon on Tuesday night. And I went to see him tonight, and I thought he was absolutely exceptional. His control of the ball, his positioning, his willingness to go and beat a man, and coupled with an ability to beat a man. Lots of players have the willingness to do it, but don't actually do it. 2 or 3 times he absolutely had their full back on toast, and probably still need a little bit of work on that final ball. But my God, he's streets ahead of anything we've got in a wide position. And I was just so excited to see him last night step back. And all of this needs to be caveated, of course, by the fact that Accrington Stanley were and are terrible. So it's not the best opponents you're going to come up against. But he looked bang up for it. He looked on the pace. Some really skillful takedowns was one of the things that I took from it, from a couple of long balls that he received. Walker, I think, played one. Finlay played one to him. Real calmness and ability to bring that ball down, get it under control and attack. And it's that pace and that momentum that we've been losing because, Kieran Morris is a talented player, Jennings is a talented player, but there's never that pace option and go with it as soon as they get it. So that there's always that pause while they take stock and look round and look at what that option for delivering the ball is going to be. So exciting to see somebody who just wants to go for it. And I thought he was exceptional last night. Really, really good performance.